Yeah. Yeah. You know, I don't know. That's just how I'm living. I mean, whatever it is, what it is. I'm not stressing. I mean, my thing is, it's like, why you fucking looking? You know, I mean, it's as simple as that. Why you fucking looking? All right, man. All right. The fuck is that? The fuck is this? Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't even know what to say. Like I don't know what to say. This is amazing. I am completely and totally I'm honored. I am so honored to be the recipient of an Indiana State Actor Award. I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. Let me let me collect myself here. Wow. You know, I've worked so hard to get this bestowed upon me. It's I okay. Hold on. Let me see if I think hold on. I have a list here of people who I want to thank. Hold on. Okay. Oh, fuck. Oh my god. Are you mother? Ooh. God damn it. God damn it. All right. Somebody get that guy. What's that dude's name? Yeah, the metallurgist. The dude that Baldwin knows. Yeah. The welder. Yeah, whatever his name is. Yeah, get him on the phone right now. God damn it. This is a conspiracy. I fucking knew it. It's a fucking conspiracy. What up? Man, I always have so many fucking problems with this dumb thing. Hold up. Dummies is going to totally get me on this. All right. So, how's everybody feeling today? You guys feel like the state's making their case, or the what's up? Any thoughts, feelings before this stuff starts pouring out here at 6? What up, Luis? What up, Gambies? What up, Jinx? Who'd I miss here? Oh, hold up. Hold on.
There it is.
What's going on?
I wish you would have told me about that intro, because
Well, we have more.
I had a whole thank you speech prepared with my trophy.
I know. we're gonna get yours too. Hold up. Let me see. See, they did this whole thing here. They switched some shit out, and I don't go on here enough to. Hold on. I just want to get rid of these videos on here before they pop up. Okay, so obviously we want to talk here today about the stuff that's going to be coming out up to the trial and stuff like that, but it's still kind of leaking out. And I don't know if like a lot of people feel the same way as me and Meerkat do, but it seems like there's just so much conflicting information at first, as far as like you hear one thing and then there's a different interpretation of it. And, you're used to that, like being on YouTube and stuff like that, and on social media and Reddit and things like that. But when it's the media doing it, like the actual like legacy media making mistakes, it's annoying. But I get it. It's a consequence of all this stuff. So, yeah. Is there anything you wanted to add before we go into those videos?
Just that, I'm trying to stay up to date on what the media is reporting, but it's
right.
It seems like every outlet's reporting something different.
Yep.
And it's kind of hard to know what's true and what's not. So,
I agree. Yeah, it's yeah.
And the people that are actually there, it's like, I know, like, there's so much information that they're taking in that
Yeah.
You just never know.
Yeah. One person in particular that I know we had talked about her before, but it's that I think it's Hidden True Crime, Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I'm saying that right, but she's doing an amazing job. Everybody give her a look-see and all that.
I've also been keeping up with the Carroll County Comet. They do I think her name's Amy. She does updates, live streams, and those have been really good.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those that are really good too. Yeah. So we're gonna wait for some of that stuff to come out. We might have a guest or not, just depending on how things go. But I've been seeing a lot of stuff with regards to. Did you want to say something real quick, or before I do?
No, go ahead.
So, like, I've just been seeing a lot of stuff with regards to misinformation. I'm seeing people say things about, the amount of time that it takes to, cover the distances and things like that. So, and I know there's lots of videos on this, but I just wanted to put it here so it's here and everybody gets a chance to see. So we did uploaded a video package here for some things while we wait, and we're just going to kind of talk and whatever. Let me... And you're going to have to tell me, like, so this is CPS. So this is where Alan would have started walking from the CPS building. And I have the timer started. And for reference, I did this back in, it was about a little bit over a year ago, back in September of last year. But yeah, hold on. What's that? Is that like decent level of audio? Okay, I'm gonna try. And the time that I went there, well, actually, no, that's not true. I was going to say that the first time I went there in 21, they literally just had put down that that pavement. But this time I went there, that had been already. But the renovation was freshly new at that point, or no, not freshly new. It was a couple months old at that point.
Thank you, Luis. Yeah, I know people have seen this before, but I just feel like they're just key things that people can take away from this. Just because I've seen people say that like it takes, I don't know, like 30 minutes and whatever. Initially I remembered it being a little bit longer too, but hey, facts are facts, you know. Calm down, Osbrook. So for reference, this is where, you know, the infamous spot. And you know, I don't know what difference the gravel would have made. I think I was talking to Aspen, and he kind of made a good point about maybe like the height maybe being affected somewhat, or you know, I maybe you could tack on maybe 20 seconds, nothing more than a minute, I wouldn't think, to the time that it would take. I think, yeah, somebody had referenced it takes like, I don't know, did they ask if it takes like 9 minutes or something like that, if I'm mistaken, to get from the Mears entrance to the Monon High Bridge? I mean, if you're taking that distance from 300 to, you know, the stretch of the Mears entrance, I guess you could tack on like what, like 2 minutes to that. Then you'll have the difference here, but I don't know. I know we're waiting for stuff to come up, but I just can't believe some of the stuff that they're fucking saying. It's so fucking embarrassing. Like, I have absolutely no fucking respect for defense lawyers at this point. Sorry, I just don't. I'll defend myself if I ever need to. I'm not going to be in a situation like that. It's a brisk pace, I would say. I mean, purpose. Rick Allen was walking with conviction. How about that? It's not going to work. It won't work. It already isn't working. This what if, these people should be ashamed of themselves, man. Truly, like this what if shit. Like, none of those people who are making those arguments would ever approach this case if it was their family members the way that they're doing to these other people that they don't know and imposing that shit. Like, I understand when you think that when you have reason to think that whatever, but once this stuff all starts coming together, no, it's actually, it's despicable. It really is. Like, I get it. I get why people, you know, I spent a lot of time thinking about that and considered it, because I thought that the information I was getting, it should be very clear right now with everything that's coming out that these guys, these defense lawyers, are full of shit. Again, if I ever need a lawyer like that, I'll defend myself. I don't need a defense lawyer to do anything for me, man. I could do a better job myself. They're garbage. I agree, Luis. Yeah, it's, and I understand they're doing their job and whatever, but like, you know, there's just a point where it's just kind of like, come on, man. Okay, so there you have it. It's 15 minutes, and that's being generous. Even that, you could even argue it's, you know, maybe 14 and a half. But so if anybody tries to tell you that it's not possible for Rick Allen to have made it to Monon High Bridge in the amount of time that he did, now you know that that's bullshit. All right. So anything coming in yet?
A little bit. But I was looking at. Did you happen to see the orders this morning? I guess I missed
I
them.
know they come in now. Why are they? Is that normal? Is that normal? Like in a case for? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it is. Oh, okay.
But
I mean, I guess.
so they allowed Keegan, but this one's interesting. The evidence that the joint stipulations. So it says that the parties reached an agreement regarding the admissibility of certain items of potential evidence and matters related to the separation of witness order pertaining to the jury trial. So the parties agree that the items referenced below shall be self-authenticated without the necessity of a witness verifying its origin, authenticity, or chain of custody. And it just goes into so all in-cell video recordings of Richard Allen while at Westville or Wabash, all video recordings of Richard Allen created through the use of a handheld camcorder utilized by the IDOC staff when Richard Allen was transported outside of his cell, unless said recordings include confidential communications between Richard Allen and his treating psychologists or psychiatrists. All of the Dorn sheet notes from inmate companions or correctional officers, so long as the companion or officer is called as a witness and testifies at the trial. All medical and or mental health records provided to the parties by the state of Indiana, Department of Corrections or its agents, so long as the author of the mental health record and its contents is called as a witness. The items collected at the crime scene, items collected at Richard Allen's home, all AT&T records containing pings or other communications to and from any cellular towers on February 13th and February 14th. Let's see. All AT&T cell phone records for Libby's phone for February 13th and 14th. Chain of custody for Libby's phone. The chain of custody for the firearms tested by Melissa Oberg. The electronic extractions done by Brian Bunner. The ones done by Cecil, an extraction of Derek German's phone, Who's Your Harvester video, collected by the FBI, with collection paperwork that was generated when the video was collected, and also for the separation of witnesses, they are allowing Becky, Mike, Anna, Kathy, Janice, and Jamie to be excluded from that separation of witnesses so they can be permitted to attend the trial. So that's one of those things. Then she also is allowing, she denied the sketches and is also allowing Klein to be transferred.
For what is he going to be doing? Like,
yeah, I don't know. Maybe, I was thinking maybe it's just so, I don't know, maybe this time he's going to say he's not involved and he's going to get on the stand, but you really never know with him.
that dude is like, I don't know what value he adds to anything.
Yeah.
I mean, he lies and he's just, he was given way too much attention than he deserved. But I mean, I guess I don't know what the river search thing either. What came from that?
Well, I don't know. I'd really like to know why Klein is allowed, because if he's not even supposed to be brought up anyway, why would they need him? I don't know. That's really strange.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's. I mean, that's. Wasn't somebody else too? Weren't they bringing in somebody else? James Brian Chadwell or something like that? Didn't they? Didn't they say they were going to bring him?
I don't think there was a ruling on that.
Oh, they
I
just.
could be wrong. I don't think there was. And also James Haas or whatever. I didn't see a ruling on that either, unless I missed it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see. You know what they're. You know, I the stuff that from what preliminary stuff that came out, it's just things that are of interest to me are so far. I do you feel like when they're through, it's like more the defense. It seems like I feel like they should be asking certain questions that they're not, and I don't know, like, are they going to ask any of these witnesses if they actually think that Alan is the guy? Like, I haven't heard that asked. You know, like
I don't know if
they're supposed to or not.
I don't know if they can.
Or if they don't want to, maybe. I guess they have to volunteer that or something.
Well, and also remember, this is just the prosecution's turn. I don't know if they're going to have to call I don't know, someone with more knowledge than I do would have to chime in on that. But
no, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So I was going to say, what was I? There was something today. I guess the first on the stand was, well, I don't really know. I'm looking at I wonder if they're out yet, if they're out for the day yet.
I think yesterday they went to like 6 o'clock. Yeah, so that information is probably going to start trickling out, but let's see here.
Okay, so what do you think of the information we learned this morning, the testimony from Doolin? And what stood out to me was well, not so much Doolin, but with Mullen. And I don't know if I'm still waiting on more articles about what exactly went down today, but what do you think about Mullen saying that he showed Alan a photo of Bridge Guy, and Alan responded if the photo was taken with the girl's camera, it couldn't be him?
You know, it's a really odd way to respond to that. Here's what I think about Alan from what we know so far, as far as like the communications that we're aware of that he's made. He answers things, he says things, and he does things in a very particular way. I think he's a very particular guy. And I think that he is, and I've said this before, I think he's a malingerer type. I think that he is the kind of guy who's calculated a lot more, you know, and I considered this before, even when I thought he was innocent, if he wasn't at that point, from my perspective, how he would have to be. Like, you almost have to assume that he's going to be that way, if you know, because he would have had to be somebody who's thought some of these things through. And I think he's just weird. I think that like some things he does are so sort of like contrary to what people would do, that it just doesn't make sense, but he does it to do that. You know what I mean? The biggest revelation that to me was this thing about that Carbaugh said about this chick in the pink shirt. And that person has to be a known person, because unless it's an accomplice of his, because why wouldn't this person have came forward? You know what I mean? Unless they know who it is, which I would hope that they would say. But I don't know. That was very strange to hear that. I'm not going to lie. Like the person, if she's very sure that she saw that. And then did you ever get clarification on whether she saw him by the cemetery or if she saw him at Mears? Because it sounded like I saw reports for both.
I think, hopefully someone corrects me if I'm wrong, I think it was changed to cemetery, but you know, I kind of think didn't Kelsey testify to meeting some people at at the entrance of Mears that day. So it could be, you know, I would have to go back and.
But she made it a point to say that the person was like in distress and kind of,
Mhm.
I don't know. I guess one of the things that I immediately thought of, and I want to be careful about, but you know, the whole mistress with the younger guy, you know, that whole thing that was rumored, and I don't want to, you know, put anybody on blast or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, that's the only thing I could think of. Or if it was Tara, maybe they were starting to get upset because they were like, where are the girls or something like that. I don't know. Like, that's just, but yeah, I wasn't expecting that to see
Right.
that. But yeah, I thought that from what it sounds like, she stood her ground and she said what she needed to say and was like, don't, you know, F with me. If so, I mean, that was, you know, she wasn't going to let them pull their shit. Hold up. I'm going to play that other video too, if it's uploaded here. So. I don't know why it's taken forever to upload this one, but well, here, since we're waiting, so just like people also are trying to make claims about the amount of time that it takes to cross Monon High Bridge. There is also this weird claim that, oh, there is no possible way that Bridge Guy could have made it to from the point that the picture, or from the point where he appears on Abby's or on Libby's phone to the end, the south side. And that's nonsense. But you'll see. And if you never crossed the Monon High Bridge before they did this, or I mean, you can still from that point, don't fucking go around telling people it's impossible, Courtney. Yeah, that thing was beat up, man. But you know, when I did this, this was in December of 2021, like right before they announced like the Anthony Shot stuff. The weekend, actually, literally the weekend prior, yeah, the reason why I actually wanted to cross this bridge was because at the time my theory was that I had a faceless POI, just a non-local serial killer, and everybody used to say like the killer had to be familiar with the bridge, and I was like, no, like you can do this without ever having done it before. But in all fairness, I also saw, like Greeno, and I knew that Kelsey had done it, and Libby had done it, so I'm like, if they all did it, then I can do it, so but I'm glad I got to do it before they did the renovation, which I think is awful. I think it looks awful, but yeah, it's I personally, as much as I don't want to I know that what happened at those trails is awful, and at the bridge is awful, and it's just like a nightmare setting. But that park itself and the bridge and everything, the structure is beautiful to me. Like, I just think it's just like a very peaceful place, despite this crappy stuff that happened. I wish it didn't, but it's awful that he did that to that place too. It's really fucked up. You know what? I think that they got worse than after I was there, The thing that's actually fucked up is if you look at some of those ties, there's actually like little gardens growing on, moss gardens and stuff like that. Like, so when you step on them, they bounce. It's like, uh-oh, is this going to be the one that gives the step that gives? But I know, Jinx, I heard that before too. That's almost hard to believe. So this is where he would have started coming, right at this point. And another thing that was really annoying to me is that when Baldwin had tried to, I know I just showed him at that point just to kind of mark it, but he doesn't say guys down the hill at that point, and everybody fucking knows that shit. For Baldwin to sit there and tell the jury and ask them, oh, well, you can clearly see his lips are not moving. Like, yeah, no shit, motherfucker. Like, he didn't say it at that point. So stupid. And I get he's trying to make a point. He's trying to say, like, oh, well, you know, you don't actually see him say it, but see, there you go. It's 4 minutes to clear it. But the 43 seconds is totally doable from the point that they say that it happened. It's not some conspiracy. No matter what, you know, these weirdos who claim that Bridge Guy's photoshopped and all this other crap, all the nonsense that they fucking spew. So. Yeah, absolutely, man. There's no doubt in my mind that 43 seconds is totally doable. I mean, and yeah, and what Luis is saying is true too. Like, adrenaline and all that stuff, man. Like, he was probably whatever the motivation in his mind was to do it. He made his mind up that he was going to do that. So. those are some plenty of runes there on the way to Logan's property. I agree. But yeah, to me, I know like there's a lot of talk now, you know, maybe we'll learn differently and I'll change my opinion on it, but I still feel strongly that this was the destination for him to take the girls down, or whoever he was going to take. They had mentioned, I think when they crossed Betsy Blair, they asked her, you know, are you what did they say? They were like, did you how did you know that he wasn't expecting you or something like that? And she said something about like the body language. And I think that's maybe a little bit of a stretch to be able to deduce that, but just the fact that maybe it shows his thought process that he was hoping for somebody. I don't know if it was somebody specific. I don't know how he could have, but just whoever his type that was gonna, like, you know, be over the threshold for him to actually for him to go through with his plan that day. So yeah, lots of times like people don't really realize that the footpath doesn't actually continue onto Ron Logan's property. It actually like horseshoes off in a way, and you have to kind of go off, you know, off to the right a little bit there. And I don't know how to really describe this to people, but it's really strange. Any picture of any recording that I've ever seen of the crime scene, it totally neglects to show the ravine and how steep it is. I don't know how to describe it other than to say, I think, I mean, if anybody out there's a skier, it's easily, you know, I don't know, a black diamond at least, if not a double black diamond. It's steep. It is really steep. You can't tell from right here where it starts kind of descending, but I mean that is a steep, a decline there that, and you could see right there, if you really looked hard enough and without the foliage and stuff like that, you should be able to see the crime scene from there. Right, looking right there. And also too, I'll show you here. No, nope. Derek didn't walk down here. He didn't go to through the footpath. Yeah, it Jinx, it's super steep. And there's like a little barbed wire right there. I guess now there's supposedly a more reinforced barbed wire there. But you're coming up here on the F tree, and that was confirmed by people who had access to the discovery. So that double tree, well, so you can see it's marked, but that is the F tree. And then that double tree that you saw back there, like right before it, was, everybody thinks that they were placed by the F tree, and it's not true. Oh, Gambies. Yeah, I'm not monetized anymore, and I don't really care. I don't need to be, but thank you for the for the consideration. Yeah, and at this point, like I always say, like I was just worried Ryan Logan's going to come out in his underwear and come after me with his shotgun. I was like, I got to get out of here, man. So this is maybe where they came up, I'm assuming, from the creek. All right. We got anything new or no?
Yeah, I just sent you a link to some of the updates and asked if you can pull them up, but I don't know if you can or not. But
Here.
something interesting came out. It says so Holman testified today, and he was at the search of Alan's home on October 13th, and he sat inside a car with Alan while the search was going on. And it says that at one point, while Holman and Alan were in the car, the lieutenant asked if Alan wanted to fill out a form for items damaged in the search. Holman said Alan responded, "It doesn't matter, it's over."
Wait, say that again. So he was.
So Holman was sitting in the car with Alan and asked him if Alan wanted to fill out a form for any items that were damaged during the search, and Alan responded with, "It doesn't matter, it's over."
It's over. Yeah. I mean, I guess that could be interpreted either way, but yeah, it is kind of. I guess it would depend on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it says that some of the photos taken from his home contain knives and box cutters. Knives were also photographed in the master bedroom, and 24 box cutter knives were taken to a state police post. That's a lot.
24 box cutters.
Yeah.
What you need 24 box cutters for? Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
That's weird. Gambies, that was September, the footpath one. Yeah, that's another thing that I really wanted to talk about with the box cutter. I know there's like, I mean, how many did he have? How many did you say he had?
24. That's what Wish TV says. That's a lot of box cutters.
That is, I mean, he's definitely got a thing for box cutters apparently. So like, I know there's like elaborate there's probably all kinds of box cutters and stuff like that. And I'm sure Alan probably knows. But when I was much younger, I worked at Home Depot, and when I was in college and stuff like that, and the standard issue box cutters that they give you at places like Home Depot, I'm sure they're not very different than the ones that they give you at CVS. They're not going to, give you the top of the line, $50 box cutters. And I don't know if you guys can see, I just ordered one off Amazon, but so a lot of stuff came out yesterday. And if people aren't familiar with box cutters, the blade only comes out that long. Okay. On these ones. And this is actually a kind of a nice one. It's like $10 on Amazon, but like, they're still not even going to give you ones like this, most likely. But similar to, but the blade is like this. That's all you get. You don't get like, like a steak knife or something like that or whatever. And the way that I was understanding the testimony from that Roland guy, right? That's his name, Dr. Roland?
Yep, I think so.
So he mentioned that, and we had kind of talked about how it doesn't, it sounds kind of weird the way that he, I wish it was worded differently the way that he said, but he did make that kind of weird kind of comment that things were changed or he could consider a box cutter. But the way that I was to understand it, they were talking about like the serrations, like the initial cut, and there's like a secondary, a secondary bruising or abrasion, and that makes total sense. And they were saying that they thought that he could have been back and forth over the parts where he injured the girls, but you could see like where that blade is. If that does the initial, that pierces the skin, but the part where that blade comes flush with the actual box cutter, that's going to cause another, injury to their body. And that's what they were trying to say. And again, we kind of talked about it on Fire and Ice before, but there was a lot of talk, and I think they said that too, didn't they, in the testimony, that they were really uncertain about what caused the injury early on. So you can kind of see why they might have overlooked a box cutter, because I mean, it's not your weapon of choice. Yeah, no. So that's something to consider. And again, I think when the picture comes together of Alan and people start to really come to terms with the fact that he is the guy, I think that that people are going to understand that he's just a unique guy. He's a different guy who thinks differently, and he's calculated in a way that, yeah, he's like a Kaiser Sose type. He's just a very he knows how to, like, even just if you take a look at his pictures, I mean, like now he's all clean shaven and stuff. He's very aware, and I'm sure it's under the direction of Boston and Rozzy to some extent too. They would be stupid not to do that, but I just think that he is a type of, he's a new breed, I guess, if you will, of these kinds of sickos that just he's just maybe the evolution, or maybe he's I don't think he's doing things in a weird way that maybe specifically to throw off the investigators. The only thing with that though is that he also did things that were just counterintuitive, like the thing where he changed his height to be supposedly, or maybe that was just I don't know what was up with that, but that was a weird thing to do. But at any rate, it's kind of an odd thing to do, to get your height that wrong.
I was gonna say if Ruckus wants to hop on,
Yeah, Ruckus, if you
I
got
can-
nothing going on, you can come on here.
let me know. I'll send you the link.
Yeah, we're just waiting for some of this information to come out, so we just have like a full
Just a
full accounting.
not really an agenda, just seeing
Yeah,
what's
no,
going on.
but I did want to. I do want to talk. Do you care if we talk about the other side of the bridge? Can we talk about that?
Go ahead. I mean,
Like the drive and stuff like that. Just because I don't think like I never see anything on it. Like it's like never talked about. I saw Barb talking about it like the other day, and I was just like, nobody knows about that. So hold on, I just threw something together here real quick. It's like pretty short. You have a link, Meerkat?
no.
Oh, you don't have a for him?
I'm like trying to send him one now.
If
but
he can, if he's
how do I even get a link?
it should be the same exact one that you had earlier.
Oh, you're right. Okay, I'll go get it.
Let me see here. All right, so this is just really quickly. And there's no audio with this either. So, okay, this is the view across the creek, ish. And this is an old Doug Rice. A lot of people who follow this case for long enough know who Bitter Beat Poet is. This is another view of the creek from that particular location. But then this footage, and I don't know. So, and then this is from my that's literally from that other video when I just turned around and you could see this path right here. This is the private drive as it goes under the bridge towards that house. But this is just footage of what it looks like. So, and there's the creek, obviously. Everybody knows that. And this is from, I believe, the 14th here, and law enforcement you can see is there. This, you know what this always reminds me of? I shouldn't even say it, but it's the
I think I know what you're gonna say.
the Lindsay stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Because remember how we used to just like try and look in there and be like, man, can you see anything and whatever? Not to whatever, but it's just
like
we're just
teddy
curious.
bear. That's where the giant
teddy bear
thing
yeah.
started. And
oh my god,
yeah, those were the days.
They were the days. They were. But yeah, this right here is, I think, right before the bridge. It's before it on the other side. So it would be on the, the east. Would it be east? The east side of the bridge, I guess. See, it's like, yeah, you can just see it for a brief moment there. And there's the searchers. You can see them there when they're looking. So So a lot of the talk is, yeah, you're good, Ruckus. Yeah, I know I wouldn't be able to just willy-nilly jump on a live either, so you're all good. Yeah, like a lot of the talk now is people are trying to think out like what he would have possibly done in terms of like his planning and what he was thinking. Barb seemed to indicate that it was on the south side that his intentions were to. I just find it hard to believe that the only thing that I was thinking that he might have thought is that he was going to force somebody across the bridge. That might have been, but and it's like I've said before, when I went there for the first time with my wife, like when somebody doesn't want to go across that bridge, it's not necessarily because they literally will stop. Like they will just freeze. And like people who are afraid of heights, or they just don't want anything to do with that. They can't go another. So it's like, maybe he thought he would be able to do something like that. Maybe that was part of like a fantasy that he had, that he thought that was how it was going to play out. But
what I found interesting is that when Betsy Blair testified, she said it was like he was waiting for somebody.
Right.
And
yeah.
Remember, like last week, I was wondering, did he even see her? And apparently he did.
He did.
So that's interesting to me.
I know. I wish. Yeah. And that's the point where I kind of say, like, when he does come clean and he does say what he did, I just hope he says, I hope he gives the family like peace of mind, at least, if he can, which he probably won't, because these guys usually never do. But to just say, like, so they have some, not like it's going to do anything, but it could bring them closure or whatever. But my thought is that he, if Betsy Blair's right, I don't know that it's necessarily he was waiting for somebody specific. It just might have been somebody that sort of filled whatever weird criteria that he had. And then maybe he had a fascination with the bridge itself. I don't know, I don't know what he was thinking, but I think when I consider that he did manage to pull it off for 6 years, seemingly, until he got busted, like, he did some things in a way that was harder to that was pretty evasive in terms of him getting busted. So he did some things right, but like I said, I think subconsciously a lot of people still think of that whole Klein thing and the whole like catfishing thing, even though as far as I know, there's not any proof that there's anything to it. But people can infer that. I can see how people can infer that. I don't think that that's what happened. But
something else that I'm sorry, I'm looking
at
updates, and something else that stood out was when Doolin testified. This is according to WRTV. So he would follow up on leads that the police received.
Mm-hmm.
And so he held a lead sheet up in the air and explained to the jury what the sheet entailed. And he said name, contact, narrative, identifying number, who it was provided to, and what the officer should do. So when you think back to his tip narrative, that's all that information. So that's what,
and let's also take a minute to point out, because it's not as fresh as the afternoon session, but it's fresh enough. Matt Hoffman was going around and telling a lot of these YouTubers that that Alan, within 24 hours, he went to law enforcement. He went to go talk to Doolin. Is that true? It's not true. He went like 3 or 4 days later, right? And that would have
question. So it says that Doolin picked up the lead sheet on February 18th, 2017, and made contact with Alan by phone. And he eventually requested to meet at Alan's house, but said Alan wanted to meet at a grocery store parking lot instead. At that time, Yep, at that
Oh, I
time,
didn't.
he believed Allen was Richard Allen Whiteman. Doolin testified that he and Allen met in a grocery store parking lot. Doolin claimed that Allen said he was at the trails on February 13th from 1:30 to 3:30,
Mhm.
which changed the time frame he allegedly gave earlier from 1 to 3. And Doolin testified that Allen said he parked at the Farm Bureau parking lot and saw 3 girls on the trail. He said he parked at the old DCS office and walked towards the Monon High Bridge.
Aren't they
And
saying now that he said he parked at where did he say at Hoosier Harvest Store? I thought I read something about that today too. That he says he parked at the Hoosier Harvest Store.
yeah, see, I think that's the thing about like all the information coming out. I'm
Misinformation, right?
not sure which is which, and so I'm switching back between WRTV and Wish TV, and that's whenever um, Doolin said that their encounter was brief and only about 5 to 10 minutes, and he didn't video or audio record the interview, but he asked for Allen's phone information. And then McClellan asked, when you spoke to Richard Allen, he told you he ran into 3 girls. Did he give you any information on the way the 3 girls were going? And Doolin said, not that I know of. He didn't follow up on the lead any longer, and he turned it back into the investigation center. So, and then that's whenever they, I guess, Mullins, or Mullen, how do we say Mullins? Mullen started looking up information in the point of sale system, and that's where the hunting license and information goes. And he found that. Now, earlier I read that it was March of 2017. The WRTV says April of 2017.
Yeah.
It says that they looked up his licenses and found that a change was made to Allen's height from 5'4" to 5'6", and his weight dropped 15 pounds. So, yep, he changed the fishing license information.
Okay.
And Rozzy said someone has to verify Allen's credit card information, and that there were other previous height references on Allen's licenses as 5'6".
Yeah. So why is he? Yeah. That's not shady or weird or anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and like they I don't know. I still think though that that claiming that so and then there was like this discrepancy between you had mentioned like the Wallmans versus what was it, Save-A-Lot or something like that. That we had always heard Wallmans and whatever.
Yeah,
But
I want to say that the defense mentioned Wallman's maybe.
yeah. Well, yeah, and
And now it's Save-A-Lot.
right, just like the Mears cam became the Hoosier Harvest Store camera, and like there's just these weird little things. Like it's almost like alternate universe crap, but I think it's just that's kind of like how law enforcement sort of kind of moves around, and you know they want to make sure that they're you know not it seems to be kind of the way that they communicate sometimes, and I understand why they do that, but yeah, the fact that he comes out and he says this stuff after the image is already circulating, that to me is an insight into how he's thinking, how he wants to go about this, and how again, it's this half-truth stuff. This like, I'll admit to a little bit of this so that if they have me on camera doing X, Y, and Z, doing whatever, if I outright lie about it, then I'm screwed. I have to admit to some of it, because if I don't, then that's the end of it for me, so but
Yeah, and see, and then Wish TV is reporting that Dan Doolin, during his testimony, he said that he told the jury he became involved with the investigation on February 16th, and he was specifically tasked with assisting and following up on the leads. And he says that he received a lead on Rick Allen, and he contacted Allen by phone, and he requested to meet with Allen
he got
at
a
his
lead.
home.
He got a lead, like as an Allen contacted them himself, right?
Right. Well, and then
What do they mean by lead? Like
Kathy
what?
Shank earlier, which I did not know this, but it says that she was tasked with scanning every tip into the electronic database, and it took her 2 years to do so because she entered over 14,000 of them.
Holy
And
shit!
that's a lot. But she said that she came across some handwritten tips. One of them said Richard Allen Whiteman and had self-reported being on the trails, and girls had seen him at the same time. It says that tip was dated February 16th. And then Shank said she pulled the written tip about Allen being interviewed in 2017 and changed the file name to Richard Allen. And she told the jury she made this discovery on September 21st, 2022.
Okay.
And then now with Doolin, it says that Doolin said he met with Allen in a grocery store parking lot on 2/18/2017. Doolin told the jury they met, spoke about the lead, and Allen told him he was on the trails on February 13th between 1:30 and 3:30, and that he saw the 3 girls at the Freedom Bridge. Doolin said Allen told him he was clear, that he parked at the old CPS lot, and walked to the Freedom Bridge and then a high bridge, and that he was looking at a stock ticker. Some of the handwritten notes that Doolin took included Allen's phone number, and then Doolin wrote his notes up into a Word document and turned it into investigators. And then in September of 2022, he got a call asking if he remembered interacting with Richard Allen. And he said it didn't sound familiar, but then he looked through his documents, and he found a fishing license for Allen and Kathy, and their licenses had contact information. And Allen's fishing license had his height listed at 5'4", but it was changed in April of 2017 to 5'6", and his weight also changed. 13 pounds were subtracted, and Doolin said he thought it was uncommon for an adult to change their height by 2 inches. And then McLeland asked Doolin if Allen was in the courtroom, and Doolin described him.
Jesus. Yeah, that's. Hold on, I gotta go do something real quick. You can, if you want to mute yours for just a second, you can, or you can just entertain the chat for a second. But I want to talk about Kathy Allen too, like something that we learned today too. But as stuff comes out, hold on, give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I also have that same question about him calling the tip line. Because I thought he did. I thought he called the tip line, and then he spoke to Doolin. I think it, I don't know for sure. I heard it was after the arrest, because I think some people were able to get some information off of it. Yeah, I always heard he called the tip line because I think the defense even said that, right? That he called the tip line and arranged for a meeting. Well, actually, now that we're hearing that Yuling called him and arranged for a meeting, I don't know. I wish we could just get a good source of information that doesn't contradict every other media outlet out there. It's really frustrating. Yeah, I also wondered why he would change his license information to kind of match Bridge Guy's height more. And I'm thinking it's maybe because he knew that or suspected that they would identify him as short. And so he wanted to appear average, but maybe just didn't know that they were looking for, a guy that was a little bit taller. Maybe didn't, you know, so he probably just thought his height was going to give him away, so he changed it.
All right.
Yep, that sounds likely.
Yeah, so he made an effort, I guess, but like, I don't know. I still think that meeting and having a full-fledged conversation is a little bit different. I mean, that's what they were told. that he immediately, you know, met up with them. But again, I don't know. I feel like this dude did weird shit that doesn't really add up. Okay. That Doolin didn't ask him what he's wearing, and why not investigate a male who said he was there 1:30 to 3:30.
Well, I think that Doolin, Doolin explained to the jury like what the tip sheet or the lead sheet consisted of, and I believe
Right.
she, you know, it was only certain information.
Well, another thing, the big question is, as far as like when. So okay, he contacts Doolin. They arrange for them to meet wherever it was. Doesn't really matter. They met somewhere. And at that point, the video or the image at least is circulating, right? So that was a big point of contention. People were saying, why would Alan say that he was wearing all that stuff if he knew that whatever? But that proves to you that he did do that. Like he went to him and he said it was his way of being like, yeah, I was wearing the gear. So again, this is my point with all that. He is a type of liar. Like he's a better than average liar. I don't know if he's a good liar, because I feel like, you know, so I mean, like he was probably aware of the image that was being circulated. So he understood that if an image was circulating, what else do they have, right? You want to know what we know. That's what Doug Carter said, you know, infamously, right? Like, so, and I don't know that he was specifically referring to Alan. I'm just saying, like, that's just the person who's going to come out and they're just, well, first of all, if you once, let's just say people who don't even think it's Alan, who won't believe it's Alan. What you have to understand is, in that small town, there's no way you're going to get away with that. And just if it comes into question that you're the one who did it, and they're going to say, well, why didn't you come forward if that was you? You have to say something. So from the perspective of the killer, if you actually have something where you can say, like, for example, right now, Alan can say, I did come forward. You know what I mean? So he has to say something. People act like, oh, he didn't have to, like his defense team is like, he volunteered that information. He didn't have to. No, he had to say something, because if he saw that there was a picture and there's a video, his next thought, and anybody's rational next thought, would be, what else do they have? Right? So you've got to say something. It's better than nothing, because if it even remotely comes into question that you were there and it comes out that you didn't come forward after this image was circulating, you're fucked. Like right off the bat, there would be no question. So he did that, and he actually executed it pretty brilliant. My thought is I guess it's kind of weird. It weirds me out a little bit. I guess I didn't realize that Doolin called him. So it's like he actually has his number. That's weird. I'm not going to lie. That's a little bit weird, but I don't know the circumstances surrounding that. But did Alan say Whitehead? Did he say that? You know what I mean? Did he indicate that, or was that something that we know for a fact that Doolin made an error on? You see what I'm saying? Like, did Alan himself think of that? Maybe not. I don't know. Is there any indication of that, or is it Doolin? Is Doolin saying, yeah, it was my mistake? Or did Kathy Shank? I know that's what he wrote down, right? But like,
Right. I didn't see anything. But I am gonna.
But how did he? So he had to call Alan to arrange that, right? He was responding to tips, so he had the number. I'm curious as to how that worked too, you know, because that is kind of weird. Because I would have, I mean, couldn't he? I mean, I know it's 2017, but if he's using a database, like how did he not? Did Alan use a weird number or something like that? You know what I mean? Because that's weird. But
I pulled this up
great.
just for the timeline. So on the 16th is whenever the new tip line was set up, and also Bicycle Bridge Road. And then it was on the 19th when they labeled him a suspect.
Okay.
On the 15th is whenever the police ask for people to come forward if they were on the trails from 1 to 5. And then also on the 15th is when the BG photo was released around 6:50 p.m. according to the bulletin.
So yeah, that's okay. That's interesting. I remember the Facebook post. I used to have a screenshot of it when they said, you know, have you seen this guy or whatever? But the 15th, is that what it is? That's the earliest one? I feel like I've seen.
It's not the earliest. Those are like the bulletins that I pulled.
Oh, okay.
These aren't Facebook posts. I just pulled all of the official bulletins down.
Okay.
And kind of made a timeline.
We want to talk about this too? All right, not. I thought I misread that to say Kathy Allen, but didn't that get revealed today too? Or no? Or maybe I was thinking Kathy Shank. Never mind.
So I guess with the vehicle, when they found the vehicle, Liggett learned there were 2 cars registered to Allen, and this was after they found the tip. And then Tony Liggett went to CVS and found Allen's car, and then they looked for it on the harvester footage. Mullen said Liggett looked at the video and found the vehicle matching the description, and the timestamp was 1:27 on February 13th. And Baldwin interjected, telling Mullen that it's only your opinion that your car matches. And Mullen responded that he believes the car in the video was Richard Allen's. He said the general shape of the car was the same as were the taillights, bumper, and rims, which specifically they said black sports rims with spokes. And then the jury was shown a 9-second video of the vehicle as it passed from east to west, followed by close-ups of the car. And so while the license plate and the VIN were not visible, the time on the security camera footage and info from Doolin's meeting match up. And that's whenever Mullen and Liggett went to Allen's house on October 13th and told him they wanted to ask questions about the Delphi investigation. And Allen agreed to go to the police department and was taken there in an unmarked car and in plain clothes. When they arrived there, Mullen asked if what Allen was doing on February 13th, and Allen said he went to his mom's house in Peru, returned to Delphi, and picked up a jacket, went to the trails around 12 p.m. and left at 1:30. And then, according to Mullen, Allen told police He drove his Ford Focus to the old DCS building, parked there, and went to the trails. And he said he was wearing a blue or black Carhartt jacket, blue jeans, and a skull cap. And Mullen said Allen told police that he saw 3 girls on the bridge and was looking at his stock ticker, and that one of the girls appeared to be older and that she was babysitting. And Mullen told the jury he showed Allen a photo of Bridge Guy, and Allen responded, if the photo was taken with the girl's camera, it couldn't be him. And that's when Allen agreed to let Mullen look at his phone, but then he got angry and walked out of the interview, and then he was taken back to his house.
Hey, is there anything about Kathy? Like, is there, or was that just a guess?
Are you able to pull up the articles? I sent you 2 links in
Let me
Discord.
see here. Yeah, let me check it out.
Yep, I agree. I assumed that was, when I first heard that, I was like, well, it kind of looks like babysitting.
Yeah, but the problem with that is, I mean, again, he's admitting to some of that, and he's pointing out a detail to make it look like that's, but he's not saying, how can he? There's no way it was different girls. You know what I mean? Like, it had to have been them. I guess, like, the whole thing with, like, the interpretation of the video and stuff like that, like, I would kind of want to hear it. I just, like everything, I want to hear it myself,
Mm-hmm.
to determine. But the path, that be a gun, there's no path here or whatever. I don't, like, I would need to hear that myself but I'm not saying it's not true.
Yep. So actually, I think Frost said he was going to call in and join for a minute. So I sent him the link. What's up?
Hey, how you guys doing? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Cool.
What up?
I'm driving, so I had to pick an avatar, so I hope it's okay.
I love it.
How are you guys?
Good.
Yeah. So, what do you think of the information that we learned today?
Okay, so have they released anything else? Because I just got out of work, so I'm in the dark as like since from like if anything after 6 o'clock, I don't know. Is there anything like new?
Did you hear about how I guess Holman was sitting in the car with Alan and asked him if he wanted to fill out a form for damages to any property during the search, and Alan said it doesn't matter, it's over now.
Yeah, I got that part. So that's
Mhm.
is that from like after lunch?
Yeah.
Okay. So that information is actually still coming out right now because I don't know what time they got out for sure, but I was waiting for like Tom because Tom has really good information. But as far as like the pre-lunch stuff, like this morning, where like they got him good, like he's cooked, like oh my god, like I can't even imagine thinking he's not the guy now. Like that's just crazy.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. I like the black rims and all that shit. Like, come on, dude.
Those aren't, as far as I understand, those don't come stock on Ford
No.
Focuses like that.
Not at
Not
all.
those. Not spoked black rims. Those are not stock. I guarantee you that. Especially on like an entry level car like that, like not an entry, but like a base sedan or whatever. Those don't.
Right.
Those not going to come with
Base
that.
model.
No way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's definitely like. Yeah, I wish I was there because I guess they played the video. I guess they would have to play it on the big screen. Everybody saw it, so that would have been neat to see.
Did anybody like say what Alan's reaction was to like seeing that, or was he?
I haven't heard. Again, I haven't been able to keep up with a ton. His answer. I guess I wasn't able to listen to you guys.
No, you're
what
good.
What do you make of his answer whenever they asked him a simple yes or no question? He's like, well, if the girls took it on their phone, it's not me.
Yeah, that was really
very
weird.
Strange. Very
yeah,
strange.
that immediately like it's just I don't know, man.
How about
like
just
4 and
saying
5, 6 and
how about
7.
just saying fuck no, that wasn't me? Just say it, you know, like I don't know. It's
yeah, man, it's this is coming together a lot quicker than I thought it would. I guess I don't really know how quick it would be, but I mean, it's already they're doing a very good job. Because you know how the first few days everybody was like, oh shit, maybe they don't have anything on him. They were actually just building the foundation for the story, which is they're doing a fantastic job, I think.
Yep, it sounds like they're telling it in chronological order. What do you think about why do you think Klein's coming in? Like gonna
Klein is
Goal
going
allowed or granted the order to transport Klein. I don't
yeah,
understand
that is true. I don't know. That one I still don't really.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I don't know what they're gonna, because I would imagine Nick's just gonna cross-examine him and be like, "Did you ever go out that way?" He's just gonna be like, "No." Like, I don't know. I don't. I guess I don't understand.
Yeah, because I don't get it. Klein's not supposed to be brought up. What's the point of him coming in at all? You know?
Yeah, and James Chadwell too. I don't know what they're even going to do with that, because that's even less than Klein, in my opinion. Like, there's nothing there for him either. I mean, I know he had the creepy tattoo and he's a piece of shit or whatever, but like, you can't put him there at all.
And James Haas as well.
And under what circumstances would they even agree to? I mean, I guess I don't know if it's their choice to come, but I mean, like, I don't know. That's weird. That
I mean, they're technically property of the state, so I think they would have to go. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be true. Well, it's like Meerkat was saying, it's going to be like the battle of the BGs, you know.
I don't know. I think the defense. Like, I don't anticipate the defense taking too long, because I don't see any way out of this. I really don't. I'm surprised they took it to trial, because knowing what we know now, I cannot believe they're confident in a trial.
Well, and also, like, they haven't even gotten to the confessions yet. I mean,
no, exactly.
On what fucking planet did they think they were gonna fucking 9 out of 10, according to Hoffman. Baldwin says, I give it a 9 out of 10 score whether or not I'm gonna get him off. There's no way in hell that I won't get him off. Nine times out of 10, I get him off. Really, dude? I don't think so. You're full of shit, dude, is what you are.
I guess whenever you have people hyping you up on the internet and stuff or whatever, but
right, that's true. That's true.
That's got to be what it is.
Yeah,
They
you got your
probably-
own little freaking
echo
chamber
blame
going on. Yeah.
I don't blame them for that, I guess, because I'm not gonna deny there was a shit ton of people like on Twitter and shit. Like maybe they thought they could sway public opinion if they can sway like, there's I would say several dozen people that were convinced. So I guess I can't. I guess if that's the only shot you have, I mean, why not? But it's worse than I thought for them. Like it's bad. It's like a yikes. Like it's starting to. I don't know. I don't know when like, these people that were like all on it start turning on one another. Like who holds on the longest? You know what I mean?
What happened to Sarah?
interesting.
What happened to Sarah and Carbo destroying the state's case? Like I thought that was supposed to happen, and it seemed
That
like
killed me because
it
they're like,
seemed like she was pretty good for the state.
yeah, they're like, everyone who swears by the defense and what they've done, they're like, oh yeah, Carbaugh she's gonna kill the timeline. It's over. She's gonna be a horrible witness for the state. She didn't say blood, but now that it comes out that she did, they go from, well, now she's just a liar and she's a horrible witness. Like, okay, flip the script, whatever, do what you got to do, but it's just tough, man.
It's also weird how out of all the devices they seized from his house, they couldn't find the one that he had that day, right?
That's another thing, because he was what, 48 years, or wait, he would have been like 47 years old, or whatever, or yeah. Did he just now start trading in phones like into his mid 40s, or like what's up with that? Because people are trying to say, well, he maybe traded it in, but like, I don't know why you would wait until you're like, I don't know why you would change that if you kept every other phone. Like, that's
right. Like, why just that one? And yeah, the stuff about the stock ticker. I mean, there should be some data. I mean, like I know Tob used to say this a lot. Like, there should be something showing that his phone was at the trails if he claims he was on his phone at the trails.
Yeah, because like even like, okay, so I know this from like my experience, because I was a Samsung guy up until, and I basically still am, but I have an iPhone now. But like the thing is, Google, like if you have your Google Maps or whatever, like I can go back to like 2015 and see where I was from my Google account. So if they got his Google account, I'm not saying it's gonna 100% have it. I may have had like a setting activated, but like I have my route from like 2015 on like a random day. I can see where I was. If they can get that, that would be like, I know they have some kind of preservation data from it. I think they mentioned it yesterday, but I don't know what it's going to say. It might not be good, but also I wanted to talk about, yesterday Cecil mentioned infotainment system on his car, so that might be coming up. That's going to be huge.
Yep, I agree. I wonder what kind of car they have.
Well,
I wish I knew. Yeah, I wish I knew more about that shit too. Like, I don't even know like what.
If you want a Murdoch case, Murdoch, they used it with Murdoch. They could see they could see what time the car turned on, what time it was shifted out of park, and all that stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's no way out of that either.
If that's what they have, I'm not saying that's what they have, but
if they have it, yeah.
I mean, it sounds like they do.
Was that technology? That technology was like available back then too.
I mean,
I know it wasn't that long ago, but I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, my car has Ford Sync. My car's a 2017 and it has Ford Sync, but I think that data is kind of like the knowledge sea of cars. Like the average person can't see it. You got to take it to a dealership or something, and Ford has to actually access it for you. I imagine they have to have some kind of warrant for that, because I don't know how that works, but
So they said that Alan didn't want to turn over his phone during his.
Yeah, and he got angry about it.
So what was on that phone? If I know, didn't they say they found searches about the investigation? But I mean, I kind of just, everyone was searching the investigation. It's not, I don't find that suspicious, but why wouldn't he? I mean, I guess, you don't want to just turn over your phone without a warrant or anything, but for that
Well,
one phone.
I'm curious to see, because if you remember, Mark said something. He wouldn't exactly say what, but he said, "Think of Batman stealing chicken," and he goes home to his computer and types in "Batman stolen chicken near Batcave" or something. And I was thinking about that. And I'm like, I'm waiting for that to come up. It may well, I don't know, but I think we're still waiting on more stuff to come out from this afternoon. But maybe it's a tomorrow thing. But I feel like they were able to get something from those new phones, and the newer phones, or not newer, but the other phones that he had that he was able to use after he got rid of that one. What is on those internet searches is going to be interesting. Because I've heard he used Reddit. I've heard that he called into a podcast, and I'm still waiting to see some of that come to fruition.
Yep, I'm looking forward to hearing about that if it's true.
Yeah, that'll be that's gonna be really hard to get out of. But what's with the Snapchat stuff yesterday? Did you hear that? How like Cecil said he did a Google search and found a, like, I don't know how that works. Like,
Yeah.
that might have been just, like, I don't want to call him dumb, but like that might just be him lacking knowledge about like Snapchat or something. But I can't think of a time where I've ever taken a photo and I opened Google and it was on there. That don't make sense to me at all.
Yeah,
Is he talking about Knowledge C? That Knowledge C stuff where it just saves, like the data just saves, like anytime you take any type of photo, it just saves.
Maybe. I guess, like, I thought I understood how phones worked, but like a lot of these trials, there's like so much more underground shit that you don't know about, like running in the background constantly. I don't know shit now. I was like, holy shit, I had no idea. I didn't know my phone was constantly checking to see how far above sea level I was.
Yeah, no, there's all kinds of fucking weird shit with phones that are going over to like weird like servers in other countries and shit, and data mining and all that kind of crap. So yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. I'm interested in that stuff, and I'm interested in, like, somebody had brought up, I seen on social media or something like that, they were saying that there should be like iCloud data that they could have still gotten from his phone and things like that too. So I don't know. Even without the physical phone.
I don't know that he was on an was it
or
an
not iCloud, but just like the cloud or whatever, or
okay,
whatever.
I don't know about that. I don't know. 2017. It doesn't feel like it was that long ago, but I guess I don't know. But I don't remember anything I did saving on anything like that. Like whenever I got a new phone, it was gone. But maybe that was just me being, not activating it or whatever. But
right.
I am like I don't think some middle-aged dude would. I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know how technically literate he was. I'm gonna imagine not very.
Right. Yeah. No.
But I'm curious about the army boots. Did you hear him say he was wearing army boots?
Yeah, I did hear. I heard that McClellan brought that up, and that kind of made me think, like, why would that be brought up if it can't be proven?
Yeah, that's a good
proof that
it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting to me because if he didn't get rid of the clothes, but he got rid of the phone, like that's interesting because I don't know. Part of me wants to say he got rid of it because of what happened, but like, wouldn't he get rid of the clothes too? That's just, I don't know.
Well, it's also weird how he refused to meet with Doolin at his house
wait, he did?
Yep. Whenever he requested, whenever he followed up on the tip, he contacted Alan by phone and Doolin told the jury that he requested to meet with Allen at his home and then police headquarters, but Allen refused and requested that they meet at a grocery store parking lot.
That's weird. I didn't hear that part.
And if that was just a few days after the murders, that's, you know.
Wow. Why was that? That should have been a red flag. Huge red flag. But I guess, like I said, his name was misfiled, right? I mean, I guess I get that part, but like, that's just crazy. And I guess it was confirmed that it actually came out because they were moving their headquarters and they were going through every single file again.
Well, do you think that he changed his height?
That too.
Because he thought he could be identified as short? And maybe made himself appear taller? Because he figured, like, okay, my height's going to stand out, and I know these witnesses saw me.
I can't imagine why you would lie about your height. Like, your height doesn't change that, you know, I mean, maybe if you're like 70 years old, you can start shrinking, but it's not going to change in your 40s. You're not going to, that's not how that works. Like, that's crazy that he just did, like, that doesn't make sense to me. There's no rationale I can think of to where I would get my own height wrong. Like, you know what I mean? Everybody knows how tall they are. Like,
or at least by two whole inches, right? Like,
yeah, that's how, like, 2 whole inches. That's a lot. Like, sometimes I say I'm 5'10", but I'm really like 5'9.5". But like, never. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't see any rational. I mean,
no way.
But this is the part of the thing with him. Like, everything is just like this weird, like, off. It's almost like he like thinks of like he's like in a fantasy world or something. It's weird.
Actually, okay, so it looks like this just got updated, or I didn't see it before, but it says at 10:35 a.m. Rosie begins cross-examining Doolin, and Rosie said Allen called law enforcement in February. Rosie said Allen suggested meeting at a grocery store because he was already on his way there.
I saw that.
Yep. And Doolin said he can't recall the appearance or demeanor of Allen during the meeting, but Rosie said the handwritten notes would be better evidence of the meeting than the electronic report, and that Doolin said in March of 2024 deposition that he had no independent recollection of what Allen said to him in their 2017 meeting. And Rosie also said that anyone can purchase a fishing license for another person.
I've never heard of that.
No.
I've never heard of that.
What? Like, where's he going? But okay, here's what I don't understand. At 11:06, McClellan asked Doolin about the credit card used to purchase Allen's fishing licenses, and Doolin replied that he did not know what username was used to purchase the licenses.
That's weird. Yeah, that's strange. But I've never heard of somebody buying a fishing license off another person.
Right. Unless like, you know, maybe it was up for renewal and like Kathy renewed them both or something.
So he changed it on a renewal?
I don't know. That's just a you know.
Okay, so if he changed it on a renewal, that's even more weird.
Well, I don't know that for sure. It's just a maybe thing.
Yeah, no. I know. I'm just speculating. That's all.
And I heard it reported earlier that the reason he came forward is because he had told his wife he was there that day.
He told his wife he was there, so she knew he was there.
That is what.
That's, you know what?
That changes things for me because she acted like she didn't know.
If she knew that he was there, I want to know how she talked about the case. I want to know what she had told other people about the case. I want to know how she acted when the case came up. Like, I mean, dude, like, that's weird. That's super fucking weird. I don't know.
Now, unless it's just, you know, misinformation from, you know, I don't know. I think
it could be. I don't want to say anything too soon.
Yeah, I guess
it's really frustrating to even, you know, say anything because it's like we don't know what's true and what's not.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Is that, you think that's probably like all the info that came out today then?
No, I don't. I think
I'm sure there was a lot more.
Okay.
You know,
They probably just got out and they're all getting set up because I know they can run. Like, they say 9 to 6, but it could be 6:30, 6:45.
Frost, are you planning on going live later at all?
It's tough. It's tough because I got to go to bed. If I do, it's gonna be real short.
Right.
Yeah. Saturday night I can't Saturday night. Sunday night I can, but like if I do one tonight, it's gonna be super short, like maybe an hour.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, for right now, it's kind of like I think we have all the information that we're gonna get for a little bit. So like, I figure we probably just like log off. But if you do, let us know in the Discord, and we'll go on with you. You know, if you
okay.
if you're down. But yeah, I think we covered most of everything. I think people are just kind of waiting for the big information to drop if there is going to be more. So
yep,
yeah,
I'm sure we'll learn more as the day goes on.
I'll be home in like 30 minutes. I've got my things set. So Tom Webster is the one I've been doing. The one he goes like first. So if he's scheduled, and it'll tell me when, and then I'll just go tune into him and then see what comes out or whatever. But
all right, cool.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, you guys good then?
I'm good.
Yep. Good to go. Thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, everybody. And
thanks for having me on too in the car. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming on.
Anytime.
All right.
Anytime. Later, guys.